I'm not sure how many people have done this once they've left, how many people have also had this same experience, but I know for a fact it has been the differentiator between me being able to stay off for as long as I have versus feeling the temptation still, even 8 years later, to go back. That doesn't exist, and I firmly believe it is because I did this. Hey, it's Carly Burr. Welcome back to Taking Life Offline. Today's episode is for you. If you feel like you have done and tried everything to quit social media, but you just can't seem to get the closure that you're needing in order to move on for good, this episode is for you. And honestly, I feel for you. And I want you to know that you are not alone. The struggle is so real. There are so many people in this exact same situation, and that's because let's not discount the fact that it's a straight up addiction for most people. I heard a saying once, and I can't for the life of me recall where I heard this and who said it, because I'd love to give the credit where the credit is due, but she painted this perfect analogy that made so much sense in my mind, so I wanted to share it with you. She said, take an alcoholic. You take an alcoholic and you give them a little shot to carry around with them in their pocket, and you say, just don't drink it. You can carry it with you. Don't drink it. What is that person going to do? Instead of actually living their life and enjoying the day, all they're going to do is focusing all their time and their mind power and their energy into just not drinking the shot. That's what they're going to be focused on the whole time. They're not going to be able to enjoy their life with that shot constantly tempting them in their pocket. She related this to social media and saying your smartphone in your pocket is like that shot to the alcoholic. It's just easily accessible, and if you just have it with you all the time, it's going to be really hard to stop thinking about social media and get on with your life if it's constantly available to you right there in your pocket. All this is to say, if you don't fully commit to leaving social media behind, to closing that chapter, it's going to be hard for you to actually stop thinking about it and move on, which is what I'm here to encourage you to do, and why I will always be here encouraging you to close that chapter for good and to move on, no more just detoxing, but to actually get rid of it, to quit for good. So in hopes to help you try something new today that maybe you have not attempted to do in the past, to help you move past social media, to close the social media season of your life for good, I'm going to share with you the thing that I did that I know made all the difference for me in being able to successfully stay off for as long as I have. And especially in the beginning, I can honestly say this is something very specific that I chose to do not long after I pulled the plug on my social media for good. And I'm not sure how many people have done this once they've left, how many people have also had this same experience, but I know for a fact it has been the differentiator between me being able to stay off for as long as I have versus feeling the temptation still, even 8 years later, to go back. That doesn't exist, and I firmly believe it is because I did this. I dove, and continue to this day to dive, into personal growth and personal development. I got ultra intentional about who I was becoming. I got active in the details of my life. Yes, even down to the smallest little things, all the little hard things, all the insecurities. I worked and continue to work through them. I just decided to get super honest with myself, and guess what happened? The desire that I once had to be online, that faded. It's like an old boyfriend who you once loved and you thought once you guys broke up you would never ever get over this person. There was no moving on from here. And then guess what? Eventually you do. And as the desire to be online, as that faded, a greater desire to live more intentionally, to live independently of external influences, that emerged. What exactly do I mean when I say diving into personal growth and development? I'm talking becoming ultra self-aware in order to assess behaviors, assess habits that are existing inside my life, and in order to look at them and say, okay, what is serving me? What isn't serving me? How can I improve this? Where can I get better? How can I take new actions and change and create new habits in order to continually improve and grow in my life? I didn't want to stay as the person that I was that day or today. I want to continually improve and become a greater version of myself. I want to change with the new seasons of me that are coming forth and commit to continually doing so throughout my life. Now let me tell you why this works. When you are actively working on your personal growth, on your personal development, when you are trying to do the best for your life in order to grow, in order to change, in order to evolve, naturally, through that process, you get rid of the things that no longer serve you. You get rid of the things that cannot come with you in order to become that next person. Now, in that process, if you find that social media is one of those things that's keeping you stuck, keeping you hiding, keeping you from growing and evolving, then that's going to need to go. And honestly, when you're focused on the right things, when you're actively in the details of your life, you don't worry so much or focus on everyone else's. You start to gain perspective. You start to uncover what actually matters. And the joy that comes from that and living that is unmatched. It's unmatched by anything that social media will ever be able to offer you. And look, I've been around long enough to know that there honestly isn't, or at least I haven't found it yet, a one-size-fits-all answer to solve this problem. I just want to share with you what's worked for me because I believe that it has the power to work for you too. Alexander McQueen has one of my absolute favorite quotes of all time. He says, "There comes a time when you focus solely on what you feel is right, regardless of what everyone else is doing." This time came for me 8 years ago. I had the realization that I needed to leave social media regardless of the fact that everyone else seemed to be focused on building their online presence. I decided to do what I felt was right, which was take my life offline and focus on my offline presence, even though it was not the popular thing to do. Maybe this time is coming and is happening for you right now. Maybe you too are feeling like leaving just feels right, regardless of what everybody else is doing. And if so, I challenge you to do it anyway, even though it's the unpopular thing, even though it's the thing that's against the grain, and even more so, because that's what it is. In doing so, that is how you're going to be able to get closer to you. That's how you're going to be able to step into the next version of you that's offline. The next version of you that's just knocking at your door, begging you to turn the page and to put the pen down on the paper and begin writing the next chapter of your life that exists not for the world to see. If you feel the call, I challenge you to leap. And as you do, leap right into personal development and focus on your growth. I know this emphasis has the power to change everything for you as it has for me. You have so much in store to gain. And I know when you're sitting there getting ready to press the delete button, it feels like you're about to lose so much. But I can tell you from experience that that isn't true. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There is so much in store for you once you quit social media, way more than you feel like you might be losing when you chose to leave it behind. So if you're sitting there thinking, I'm ready to give this a shot, I'll be the first person to sit here and tell you and cheer you on that you've got this, because I honestly think that you do. And if you're feeling alone, feeling isolated in your decision and isolated in your efforts, I'm so sorry that you don't have someone in your life who can support you for wanting better for you and for your life, who can't support you for doing what you know you need to do. And I wanted to let you know about a transformative community that I've created that will help you finally find your people, that will help you connect with people who are also striving to live their lives offline, people who are stepping up to be leaders in their life instead of just followers of everyone else's. You finally don't have to do this alone. Hallelujah. And if you want more information about this, I've left a link in the description to this video or in the show notes to this episode. So my friend, I've let you in on one of the most pivotal things that I have done in order to help me quit and stay off of social media for good. And my challenge for you today to put into action is to start your own personal growth and development journey today. To dabble with this and to become self-aware and take small steps towards improving you, towards improving your life. I know you won't be disappointed with what you discover and who you start to become on the other side of the initial discomfort. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope that today's episode was able to get you to consider a new approach to taking your life offline. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would appreciate it so much if you took 2 seconds to leave me an honest review and to leave any type of feedback. That would be wonderful. Thank you so much in advance, and I will catch you next Monday.